Hey folks, J-Tag from Mandolin Deep Cuts here. Today we are going to be tackling a Baroque chord melody I've arranged for us for our favorite almond-shaped instrument, the mandolin. It is written originally by Arcangelo Corelli. What an amazing name, Arcangelo Corelli. Oh my God, we're just gonna call him that for the rest of the whole video. Arcangelo here. Arcangelo wrote a bunch of fairly famous tunes. He was loved during his own day, so this tune is well known. It was even in, Thomas Jefferson, Tommy J's library in Monticello. So his pieces have had some staying power, right? The chord melody itself, I would say, is not too hard. I would say it's politely challenging. How about that? Politely challenging. Give it a go if you like what you're hear. It's slow. I think it's moving. I think it'll maybe tug on your soul and your heartstrings a bit. Let's give it a listen. Born in the mid 1600s, Arcangelo, was a Baroque composer hailing from Italy. In my opinion, Arcangelo's strength was writing melody. He didn't need all these 50, 100 extra instruments. He had the ability to write a melody line and let that bad boy sing, right? He also left us predominantly violin music. Thank you, Arcangelo, because that is just a wonderful opportunity for thievery for the mandolinists of the world. And unlike Bach's music, I'll say Arcangelo's music is easier. You could say it a different way, less complex. Maybe he lets the melody sing a little bit easier through. I don't know. The music's easier. It rarely goes above the 10th fret. It's not always as harmonically complex. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's a wonderful opportunity and something that us mandolinists should be taking a little more advantage of, if I do say so myself. Now, this piece is a Sarabande, and you will find a disputed history associated with it. It's kind of cool. You'll have, very intelligent musicologists with a couple initials after their name basically say different things about the origin of where the Sarabande came from. Originally, a lot of folks thought it may have been somewhere in the Middle East area. Nowadays, a lot of the opinions are shifting to somewhere in Central or North America, where we found written records referencing the Sarabande. Pretty cool. Originally considered a very vulgar and sexy dance, apparently. Nowadays, it is often, I guess I would say it is stately and slow. It has changed. It has evolved like many of these things, like the Allemand and the Bourrée. When you have hundreds of years for these types of music to be played, they do change and grow and evolve. And that's what happened. This is now the slowest form of a Baroque suite. Kind of cool. I do have a couple of recommended listens if you want to hear what this piece sounds like from different artists, right? Here's a couple albums. I think some of these you could just listen all the way through, especially this one. Especially this one. This whole entire album is perfection. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, you will notice that a lot of the times in Baroque music, the first time through, folks will play the music as written on the sheet. When you're listening, you'll notice the second time through, folks will do some improvisation in the Baroque era. It was totally cool to ornament and improv and make this music your own. I implore you, do the same, folks. Have a good time. What's the worst that can happen? You make too much good mandolin music. Oh my God. I do have two versions of this tune available, a simple and a complex. Feel free to build your own out of those two. No hard feelings, no issues at all, and don't make yourself feel bad if you can't quite play the complex version yet. Let's talk a little bit about chord melodies, right? We haven't really talked about them too much on this channel. For me, when I play chord melodies, I've got some issues. I often need to memorize a chord melody in order to get my fingers to the right places in time and to do some of the more intricate fretting that I find is necessary to make chord melodies sound good. You may not have this, but I'm passing this along because to me, this felt like a big realization when I figured out that if I just memorize the darn music, I can literally play it significantly better. You do you. I also have an issue with chord melodies of, I need to make sure that I fret properly. So intonation, because we're doing a lot of, often a little more fancy, a little more complex left hand work. I need to make sure that I'm touching the correct strings and the correct places on the fingerboard, and only on the right places. Often with a chord melody in a mandolin player, you will see that their fingers actually touch the string under it or touch the string above it. Imagine that your finger is on the D string. You might accidentally touch the A string and stop it from ringing, or the G string and stop that from ringing. Try not to do that. Feel free to do some rubato, take some time, be slow, have a good time with it. Sarabandes are slow. If you need to take a extra breath, take that breath. Take that breath, folks. So let's start this chord melody off. We are going to begin on this little triple stop with B, G, and B, 4-5-2. There are a couple ways you can do this. You can just hit all three chords. You can kind of do a scrape, right? And you can stop your pick on that E string and let it rest. And then do an upstroke for the E if you sneak under it. You can also just continue downward to do that E that comes next as well. Versus... it's your call. It's your call. I tend to like the 45-degree pick for this because as I come up, I only have to touch one of the strings on my E. Sort of gives it a lighter sound. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's fine. But I mean, you can just... I think it has a nicer sound. The F sharp is kind of difficult to get to, honestly, here. A lot of people, a lot of people might have difficulties with it. I kind of do, and I just kind of have this extra spot or just this extra beat that I kind of give myself to get to this, just to make it sound better and easy. Probably a little too light. And when you pull your fingers off of the strings, you may make some extra sounds. I try to stop that, but it does happen. And it's kind of a pull off, right? Right? And it just kind of happens. For me... if I give that F sharp a little bit of extra time, it just makes it easier. This next chord, this 4-4-6, yeah, it's a nice little chord here. It sounds almost strident, right? And after we hit that chord of 4-4-6, you can hit an open E afterwards, or you can hit the 7 that's right next to it, which I would kind of recommend. If you have intonation issues there, tune first. Next thing would be maybe consider trying to move your thumb closer to your middle finger. That just seems to improve my intonation. Yeah. Next up, we have a C double stop. I just try and just... you don't have to do that little grace note trill. It's not actually written. I just think it sounds nice. And you don't even have to do this C double stop if you don't want to. You can throw a low C on there if you want. Right. Next up, we got, just kind of think of this as the Irish music E minor squeeze happening here in classical music. This X220. You just go. This is the first time where it's nice if you have this memorized. Just being able to preload where I think my fingers need to be going next, not having to process the information from the sheet music instantly into my head, I do find beneficial. So. It's lovely. It sounds so good. I just love it. This part, it is sort of weird to do that 4-1. We don't do it a lot, but it feels not too bad. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I think anyone can do that. Even small-handed people. Next part I'll say is, here's a good spot where I was talking about earlier, where you want to make sure you're not touching the ringing A string and let that bad boy just ring, you know? The British are coming, right? Just let it sit there and ring. And if you want to hit it every time, that's fine. I tend to just let it, I think it should slowly die. You got two options for that final chord. You can finger it with 1 and 2, or 1 and 3. I tend to think 1 and 3 and being able to reach over with the second finger on the bass note is best. I just forget to do that all the time. So I find myself awkwardly doing this. I don't think it sounds as good. Play around with it. Learn it the way I think is easiest first, if you don't mind. I wish I had there. Anyway, so let's give this tune a playthrough on the first part. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? That's the A section, though. Okay, folks, let's dive into this B section. It's a good bit longer, 4 or 5 measures longer. We start off kind of interesting. You don't have to do this little slide thing. But I think it is fun. And it's got this moving bass line quality. Play it. Give it a go. See if you like it. It sounds fine to just do, that sounds nice, but does have some more fun associated with it. I think it sounds slightly nicer. So give that a try. See if that's good for you. For this 4-4-6-7, that's just our typical A chord shape. Moved up a couple frets. So don't be too afraid of that. There we go. I have trouble with that individual trill for whatever reason. It's very nice though, and it's not too hard. We just kind of hit that G and go up to that A. Remember the big thing here for this is just to keep that G finger down, so when you trill, it's just a hammer-on. And we'll end on a G there, just a nice full 0-0-2-3 G chord. So this is kind of a hard part that feels awkward and you don't do it a lot. I think it's pretty. I really do. That is the thing that attracted me to this piece in the first place, is that individual line for whatever reason. And we're going to kind of repeat that phrasing of like some slight movement, a trill, and and we're just going to land on a nice chord. And we're going to repeat that for the rest of the tune. So, onwards. We have this nice, right, C sharp and E, 4-4-0. We're just going to go right to the A form, right? So we'll hit that G. When you're hitting that G, it is probably easier to do your ring finger. Let your heart guide you. Let your heart guide you. I do like the up into it. You can shake your mandolin for additional tremolo that you shouldn't do. Anyway, let's play up to there. The trill there. 2-3. 2-3-2-0 back to 2. You don't have to do the trill at all. But we don't get to do trills on mandolin that much. Let's do them. Let's do them, folks. Then we're going to go up into the next line. And this is the opening phrase that we had in the A part all over again, right? And we're going to go to 4-4-6. What a spicy chord. It sounds so good. And we got a big stretch here from 2 to 7. So let's work our way through that a little bit, right? I don't have any trills written there. You could probably add some stuff, but it just didn't sound good to me. So we'll go... I tend to just bar that with my middle finger, 4-4. And I do 4-2-1. 4-1-2. Sorry. Yeah, it's a D. It's a B, D sharp, and B again. Which, yeah, cool. Yes. And then here's probably the part of the piece that I have the hardest time memorizing, right? So we have this. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 2. Right? Which is, I think this is just an E major chord. I don't know if it's functioning as that here. Yeah, so let's practice getting into that because there's some small movement between that little rest and the next phrase, right? So let's bar the 4/4. Let's start with that E major chord again. For the next phrase. There we go. I often find myself needing to silence or mute my E string during these specific passages because the E string sometimes is just clashing. And, always it's easy to mute just by putting a little bit of flesh from one of your fingers just down onto it, from one of your fingers that are adjacent, right? Cool. So we'll start in measure 20. Yeah. So we got this 4/4/6. You can do just a finger trill there, and it's gonna be a lot more delicate. It only lasts for a second or two. That's okay. You can also pick it like I was doing here, and it'll be, if you do it right, I think it's okay. I'm not sure if that was quite right, but I kind of like to pick it a little bit and then do just the finger. Yeah, just a nice E minor sounding chord to finish us out. On all of these little chords that we're stopping on and breathing on, again, I said it earlier, but you can always just, individually pick them. It's up to you. It's nice interpretation. Hey folks, so thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I've got this tune along with a bunch of other tunes up on my website for free at mando.studio. You can also, sign up for my Patreon where I put a lot of free music out first and it kind of sits there before it turns into free music. Folks also can ask me to arrange stuff for them. So if you're into that, please sign up. I got a lot of video game music cooking up there right now. I also run a mailing list, jtag@mando.studio. Send me an email to sign up. I've been having some technical issues with it lately. Sorry, folks, if you haven't been getting my emails. I've been sending them, I promise. Anyway, if you want something else to play right now, listen to watch my video on Anna Magdalena Bach, her time in Vienna, being Bach's wife and what that was like and her contribution to music. It's got 15 free and easy Baroque pieces associated with it that I've wrapped up into a little booklet. So yeah, other than that, thanks for stopping by. Godspeed. I can't really talk and play. My mind is going. Yeah, Godspeed. Call your mom. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.